Hi there, Adapters and Adapters TechX people. It's great to have you join us today from Catalyst for Conversion, powered by Revenue by Design. I'm delighted to have Alexander Gevers Deynoot, who is the commercial director for chains for Hopper. I hope I can get his attention. I think he's here somewhere, and oh, there he is.
Thank you.
So what's on the back? Because I couldn't see it.
On the back, it's Hopper. So in Europe, we're not as known yet. So we really have to get our name a bit out there. In the US, we're a household name, third largest online travel agents. But in Europe, still some ground to win.
Oh yeah. So you're a big organization, and kind of ground us in. Like, how big is this? How much revenue you guys push every year, as an example?
Yeah, so last year we did 4 billion. That is 23 times the size versus our 2019 numbers. We've got close to 80 million downloads. We're not on public pages, and we're fully dedicated to the next generation of travelers.
Okay, so we got a defined thing. I think we're going to have a conversation about two things. One is this notion of the next generation of travelers. And then two, we're going to talk about not just the users, but the suppliers. So can you fill us in? What is this next generation of travelers?
Yeah, obviously what we know about the next gen, they're completely different on the way how they look and book travel, but also how they're searching for it. So like I said, we're not on public pages, which is also very different to what's been done so far. If you look at leisure demand, it's always coming from Google, from Meta. If we would do exactly a copy-paste of what's been done, we are not that interesting. And what we see, and what's also what you see within the Google researches, is that the next generation, they find their information from other places. So TikTok, Instagram, that's not where they go and book their next travel trip, but they are getting inspired on where to go next. And that is basically where we tap in. So usually we start interacting 6 months before they actually start making a booking. So imagine what you can do from there, because we are built on a price prediction model. So what is the best moment to book travel? So what you hear today here is about revenue management, new tools. I heard 90% of hotels are not using a revenue management system, but what are we actually doing for the customer? And I think that is where the angle is that Hopper taps into.
Okay, so we kind of get grounded in this. I'm on Instagram. Do you know that I'm looking for something to do? Is it an algorithm? Is it machine learning? It's obviously we've got some complexity to this to identify a user in the future. How does that work?
Yeah, so basically it's all of that, but it starts by influencers. So people, they are following, people they admire, that is people that we work with. And basically, especially in times of inflation, people want to save money on travel. And what is the best way in doing so? That's basically using application that helps you as a consumer. And that is where it all starts from.
So, again, grounding everybody, you're not going to find a booking engine online for Hopper. That's number one. Number two, now we're thinking about how does a accommodation company, and you cover all accommodation types, adjacent, alternative. So how do you convey this notion about how Hopper enables eyeballs to get connected to their system and ultimately book?
Yeah, so at the moment it's all via multi-sourcing. So wherever inventory is made available, we've got ways to tap into that. What we do see is that hotels and brands, they are not as engaged with the younger generation as yet, so they start thinking about it, but how can you get those guys attached to your loyalty program? And that is basically where we come in and can help them once we get direct supply from those guys.
And so do you scrape it and then go to a direct supply, or do you, through Meta and other means and then go direct?
That could be, yeah. So all sources, wherever they make their inventory available, that is where we've got ways to tap into.
So one thing that I'm very impressed about what Hopper's doing is about fintech and how this predictiveness and how you have taken a real step forward in hedging. And for our audience, how should we think about that? How does that manifest itself?
Yeah, it's again, so whatever you do for your customer, if it's either going to make them money or save them money, you've got something that is to interest to either the hotel suppliers or the travelers' needs. And basically what we do with fintech, there's a lot of anxiety. People want to travel, but am I doing the right thing?
I was wondering when you were going to start waving your hands.
Yeah.
So we've got there. This is great. All right, fintechs get you waving.
Exactly. Well, fintech is a bit of a buzzword. You know, we're talking often about fintech, about payment flows, but we have built risk-based products to remove the anxiety from the travelers. Now the good thing, we don't keep that to themselves because we don't believe that there's one channel where all bookings will be made. People have reasons to book direct, go via Metas, go via Booking, Expedia. But we said, you know, if there's good technology and we lift the confidence levels of the travelers, why don't we make that available to a wider pool? And that's basically how we are powering competitor websites to drive and retain more direct business.
So could you give me an example of how that fintech perspective is manifested for a buyer?
Yeah, so basically cancel for any reason, that is one of our products. So hotels, airlines, they want to get guaranteed cash flow again, which I understand after the years that we've had. But if you look at it from a customer perspective, is that really customer centric? So we say you should always be able to cancel, but we should also respect the policies that hotels have set on their rooms. So what we do is, you, as a customer, you pay a little bit extra, and with a little bit extra, you cover yourself to cancel if you need to cancel. And that there's a lot of traction on that product because people, you know, the product is all dynamically priced, and that's where we look at all the AI and the things that we're doing, and we basically price it between a flexible and a non-refundable rate, and we say, hey, which dynamics should we use in order to let people convert on it and give them the freedom to travel or to cancel when they need, while we still pay out our travel partners.
So I got to ask this stupid question. So if I've got travel insurance, wouldn't that cover that?
Well, we all know. Well, it's not what we're offering. We can't really call it a travel insurance. It's a bit bit different.
If I've got travel insurance,
Yes.
and we're talking about the use case where, you know, it basically hedges against that loss. This is a better way?
Well, what we see with traditional travel insurances is that it's very difficult to basically get your money back. So you need to show death certificates, you need to show hospital bills, a lot of things. We say no questions asked, press of a button, so we make it seamless for the traveler, and that is what a modern traveler is looking for.
That's a huge advantage, that this whole theme we have at the Adapters about how do you make it easy? That makes it easy. Like, it is what it is. You've kind of hedged, you made it easy, you make it easy for me to book, and you make it easy for me to cancel. That's pretty unique.
Exactly, and that is why we also make this available, because we take 100% responsibility on the financials. So if we get it wrong, we are the ones who are paying it out. And that is also when we white label this out to other travel companies, we still take the responsibility, while there's a revenue split for the other websites.
And for our listeners, obviously a white label site is powered by Hopper, but you won't actually see their brand on it. It might be a hotel or it might be some other accommodation type that's using the engine.
Yeah, and then people are talking, yeah, but who will be the merchant of record? Well, for us, that is, we are in the middle, we are fine with it. The secret sauce sits in the algorithm and the data that we look at to dynamically offer these products.
So this seems, is this where the marketing department is going, you got a better handle on it than we do?
Well, that's a good, that's also a topic what you hear today. Revenue managers, marketing teams, commercial teams, how are they working together? Throughout COVID, we did several campaigns with Delta, United, on, hey, how can we interact with customers? And we basically got all the teams together to brainstorm together. And I think the advantages what you reach with that are so much bigger than talking into silos on how you operate your business.
So this is a completely different way to think about your business and layer into the business for distribution at a very pointed level. And it's a benefit to the user as well as to the business that's trying to get in front of very highly qualified and next-gen users that, you know, are very prescriptive about what they want, but as importantly, easy to book in the channels that a lot of people don't think of. So this has been a great conversation with Alexander. I think he might actually hop around the other side, so we book side. So this is how we started and how we're ending, and well, all I can say is, he's my older brother. On that note, keep on looking over the fence and we'll see you next time.